Thank you, Ascan Corla. I'd like to, before I start and discuss this very important motion, I'd like to thank Maureen McGrath, Breen O'Donnell, who have helped us in putting together this, as I say, hugely important motion today. I'd also like to wish Matty McGrath, our leader here in our group, the very best, who continues to be recuperating from his recent illness. So please God, he'll be back with us soon. Minister, 94% of voters are concerned about the rising cost of living. Consumers are facing higher charges at the fuel pumps and for their electricity and gas bills due to the surge in energy prices. Data from the pumps.ie indicates that in March 2021, petrol was €1.33 per litre. Diesel was €1.24 per litre. On November the 7th, just 3 days ago, petrol was €172.8 per litre and diesel is €162 per litre, and more in some places. That's an average price increase of 30%. The government, in VAT alone, take 12% of this increase from petrol and around 9 cents for diesel. So as the price of fuel increases, the government gets more income. There are a number of causes for the natural gas and oil demand surge. Europe's unilateral reduction of its nuclear power capabilities and its coal power production is one cause. Chinese and other Asian coal output coming in below what is needed as the global economy recovered from COVID-19 is another. And as many power plants can switch between coal and gas, global competition for natural gas supplies has kicked in. The energy price surge in Ireland is an extraordinary and urgent situation that requires urgent action, Minister. The energy transition, the ecological transition and the decarbonisation that the government talk about is only possible if consumers and industries perceive the benefits of this transition. In Ireland, consumers are not experiencing any such benefits of the transition. In fact, the opposite is the case, and many leading international economists are now warning that matters will get much worse. In Ireland, EirGrid is now warning that heavy industry, business and householders are facing real-time risks of electricity outages arising during morning and evening peaks. The government have utterly failed to guarantee the security of electricity supply. The financial impacts, and I do say, and I have no doubt in my mind, Minister, that if there's a blackout in this country, you'll be ran out of this stall. Ran out of there. So, be very careful, because that's the outcome. The people are going to have to suffer. They're suffering enough in the pocket, but they're going to have to suffer mentally and physically because of your inadequacies. I can assure you, your days are numbered. For many, they are, with the way people are telling me out there. The financial impacts of the pandemic remain with the households, and many families, having used up savings, are carrying the burden of debt from extra costs and lower incomes of the last 18 months. Worrying levels of people identified by research commissioned by the Society of St Vincent de Paul at the beginning of the year reported cutting back on heating or electricity due to costs, including 42% of people unable to work due to illness or disability, almost 1 in 3 renters and 36% of one-parent families. Throughout this winter, those in receipt of the pandemic unemployment payment will also see their incomes reduced as the payment is gradually withdrawn. The main welfare rate people will transfer onto has been shown to be inadequate and will remain so after it was increased by €5 in January. Data from the Tyrian Partnership for Social Justice shows that in 2021 the gap between social welfare for a single adult and the cost of a basic but decent standard of living is €49 every week. For a lone parent with 2 children, the weekly gap is €82. During the coming months, we are deeply concerned that this crisis will come to a head as households are unable to find extra room in the budget for escalating energy costs. For those at risk of disconnection or any prepayment meter who cannot afford to top up, this could mean being unable to afford to stay warm and keep the lights on. This has serious health implications and is a situation that should be avoided at all costs. Imagine, Minister, you can't turn on the lights, you can't afford to do it, you can't turn on the heat. There is no solution. Deputy Leader was in here the other day saying, we have no solution, you have no solution, only hit people in the pocket. Hit them in the pocket, keep hitting them harder, hitting them harder. We're the highest prices in Europe for electricity, the highest, I think, in the whole of Europe. So we can't just say it's a global issue, it's an Irish issue. Energy prices with electricity costs for households already are the highest in Europe, as I say, and are now rising at a rapid rate. For households who are facing significant arrears and acute risk of disconnection, the government must now step in and protect them through an emergency response fund. The budget saw the fuel allowance extended to more people, but crucially, it still misses out on the low-earning families and working families' payments. For these households, a discretion fund to support energy costs and debt will be vital. Suppliers must commit to keeping the lights on for vulnerable and financially insecure customers and make sure that there are flexible options available for people to address energy debts. Weakening Ireland's economy will do nothing for the environment, as our emissions are incredibly low, globally speaking, and because countries like China easily counteract whatever Ireland does at the flick of their switch. It's bad enough that Micheál Martin went to the COP26 conference and made a large number of economically devastating promises in an effort to blow up his image for a global crowd. He was treating money, Irish money, like it was some kind of form of confetti you throw around at a wedding. I don't know what game he was up to, but what he didn't realise, the absence of any honest commitment from countries like China, Russia, India, Australia and America proved the whole thing. And you know what? You can't blame Greta Thunberg when she said it was a whole load of blah, blah, blah out there. And that's exactly what it was from start to finish. When the big powers were only laughing at the small boys coming into town trying to show off their muscle, we're nothing. And our Taoiseach was a disgrace the way he carried on. It demonstrates how self-destructive this government's approach is right now. An increase in energy prices is also having a significant and immediate impact on the agricultural, fishing, transport and mobility sector, resulting in higher costs for farmers, drivers, passengers, bus owners and lorry owners, and for freight transport users. Long term, this is destruction of Ireland, especially rural Ireland, thanks to the Greens, Fianna Fáil and Fine Gael. And there's a mindset change, Minister. There's no mindset change with the Greens. We know where you stand. But in relation to Fine Gael, when I see a former minister up here about a month ago saying that agriculture now must take its cuts so we can save other sectors in our country. That's just an astonishing statement from a Fine Gael former minister to say the like of it. And there's no wonder that agriculture is worried and terrified at the way this government is continuing. When you look at, pensioners finding it very, very difficult to keep their homes warm, and yes, I know you might say, Minister, they got €5. €5 is nothing. Look what they're trying to pay extra on a bag of coal, the home heating oil, the electricity. That €5 is gone out of their pocket. It's like, giving from one and taking from another. I was talking to a bus owner in West Cork running a bus company for public transport, West Cork Connect. He told me that it was costing him €110 to do a return trip. Now, this man is doing several return trips. He's saving the state, I could say, millions in the year. Leaving Skibbereen and Bantry every day, and great for the environment affairs, taking cars off the road and everything, and he's got a very good time schedule. It was costing him €110 to do one of those trips a day. It's last year. It's now costing him, West Cork Connect, €160. What are you doing? You'll destroy the economy. You'll destroy the country. Forget about your green policies. That's going to take him out of if you're going to cause him a continuous rise in his fuel costs, he's going to stop operating and puts cars back on the road. So they are having the most unbelievable negative effect in our environment. And carbon tax is nothing but an attack on the people of rural Ireland. I've often enough said that, because there's only one sector it affects, and that is the people that I represent in my own constituency. And they're incensed. I'm meeting them when I was at a funeral on Monday. People pulling me out, telling me this has to stop. Somebody has to pull the plug. These guys are out of control. I was astonished at the amount of people, the anger that's out there. And the Climate Action Bill was blindly supported here by Fine Gael, Fianna Fáil, Social Democrats, Sinn Féin. Nobody saw, but the devil was in the detail. The devil was in the detail, and you turned your back on the people. He should have looked at the detail before he signed up. We feel that there has to be an immediate cut of 5% VAT rate on petrol, gas, home heating oil at this present time and electricity. A one-off energy voucher worth €250 must be given to the people because they're facing an immediate crisis on their doorsteps right now. And a freeze or a reversal on any carbon tax going forward because people can't afford it. And let anyone get up here today and say they can well afford it, they'll be damn well mindful of their seat the next time they're in Dáil Éireann, and a 50% cut on excise duty. This is the very least, and my colleagues will continue this debate today. Thank you.
Thank you,